Hi guys, welcome to the Wrestling Retrospective, and in today's video I'm doing my predictions for TNA Slammiversary 2025. So first up we have a match for the TNA Knockouts Tag Team Championships where we have the Elegance brand defending against the Inspiration. And for me, it's a pretty simple prediction in my opinion. The Inspiration are going to get the win here and they're going to become the new Knockouts Tag Team Champions. It just makes the most sense. The Elegance brand has had them for a while, and coming off the massive feud with Spitfire, it kind of makes sense that they kind of drop the titles to the Inspiration. We get something new with the Knockouts Tag Team Championships. And yeah, it kind of, ever since we saw the return of the Inspiration, it just feels like they're definitely going to win the tag team titles. And yeah, I mean, it makes sense to put the titles straight on them. The Elegance brand will probably get a rematch or two, and then we can move on to a different women's tag team. But yeah, for me, I feel like it's pretty set. I don't think it's a hard prediction, particularly to say the Inspiration are going to become new champs here. Following that, we have Cedric Alexander taking on Mustafa Ali in what I can imagine will be one of the better matches of the night, because anyone who watched WWE in like 2018-ish knows that these two have great chemistry and will probably put on an absolute classic. As far as the match goes though, I'm going to go with Mustafa Ali to get the win here, but I feel like they're probably going to have a trilogy of matches. So probably Mustafa gets the win here, Cedric will get his win back, and then I can imagine Mustafa Ali will get the win as a overall feud, just because I feel like they're going to move him up to the TNA World title scene at some point. He's been a very big part of Impact the last few weeks. And yeah, it just feels the natural progression for Mustafa Ali is to have him in the main event scene, just because he's been so good since coming to TNA. Like, I feel like they'd be losing out if they didn't put him up to the main event scene. So yeah, no, for me, I can see Cedric also get the win. This is a very, very 50-50 match here. It could go either way, and I pretty much wouldn't mind who would win either way. But you know, my head is kind of going more towards Mustafa Ali than it is Cedric Alexander, so I'm going to go with him to get the win. After that, we have a fatal four-way ladder match for the Tag Team Championships where we have the Rascals taking on the Nemesis, taking on the Hardys, taking on First Class. And for me, I feel like we're definitely getting new champions here. I feel like Nick Nemeth is kind of being wasted on in the tag division, where he can do way more better stuff as a singles guy again with Ryan just in his corner. Do I feel like they're going to put the titles back on the Hardys? I don't. I feel like they've kind of had their time as World Tag Team Champions and they'll probably just be fine just not having them. So it comes down to the Rascals and First Class, and honestly, though the Rascals are honestly one of the best tag teams in the world right now, in a time where tag team wrestling isn't really worth anything, I feel like it's their default go-to when it comes to the TNA World Tag Team titles, is to put it on the Rascals. So I actually think that First Class are gonna steal a win here somehow. I feel like Casey Navarro is probably going to sacrifice himself in some kind of way that'll help AJ Francis then climb the ladder and retrieve the championships. I also feel like they're such a dynamic heel team, and they can really get big reactions out of the crowd, especially AJ Francis, that they'll kind of want to put the tag team titles on him just so then he can become even more intolerable essentially. So yeah, I feel like Nick Nemeth is massively wasted in the tag division. He's worth way more than he is. I don't think they're going to put the titles back on the Hardys. They could put the titles back on the Rascals, and I feel like that would be a good idea as well, just because they are one of the better teams in the world right now. And yeah, I mean, they always make great tag team champions, but I feel like the dark horse team here is First Class, and I'm going to go with them to get the win. Following that, we have the X Division Championship match where Moose will be defending against Leon Slater. And for me, it feels like it's been set up very well that Leon Slater is the one to take the X Division Championship from Moose. Though it feels like we are very close, I believe, to Moose becoming the longest reigning X Division champion. So I don't know whether he steals a win here, gets over the line of the longest reigning X Division champion, and then Leon Slater takes the belt from him. But for me, it just feels over the last few months, or pretty much the whole of the year so far, it's been set up quite well for Leon Slater to overcome Moose, because Leon Slater's got the better of Moose on multiple occasions. And also Moose has stolen the championship pretty much from Leon Slater back at, I believe, Rebellion, I think it was. Or Hard to Kill. It was one of those ones, the Ultimate X match. So, yeah, for me, it just makes the most sense to put the title on Leon Slater. We get a young champion that kind of fits the X Division championship very well, as far as giving it young guys to then end up kind of being future world champions. Well, most people anyway. But yeah, for me, I'm going to go with Leon Slater to get the win here, though it wouldn't shock me if Moose kind of stole a win to become the longest reigning X Division champion, and then someone takes the title from him. After that, we have Tessa Blanchard taking on Indy Hartwell in what I can imagine is a unofficial #1 contenders match for the Knockouts Championship, as I assume the winner of this will probably go on to face the winner of the winner take all match. And for me, this is a pretty much like pick whoever you want here. Like, I really don't know who's going to get the win in this one. I'm going to go with Indy Hartwell to get the win, just because Tessa's such a good heel that having her kind of, and she's been winning a lot on pay-per-view recently. She beat Ariana Grace at the last TNA event. She lost in a very good match to Masha Slamovich last time out, and it feels like Indy Hartwell's kind of the natural next Knockouts champion in my opinion. But I don't know whether they maybe give Tessa the win, Tessa takes the title as the heel, and then Indy takes the title from her. But then at the same time, if JC Jane wins the winner take all match, the title is on a heel, and it makes sense to go with Indy Hartwell. So it's very hard to go for. I'm going to go with, as my overall pick, I'm going to go with Indy Hartwell to get the win here. I feel like having her back down in NXT also is like a very callback to the future. Callback to the future. That's a hell of a sentence. Callback to the past, as Indy Hartwell was such a big part of NXT at one point that it makes a lot of sense for her to return there to confront JC Jane to get the Knockouts Championship if JC Jane was to get the win. But even if she doesn't, with Masha Slamovich also being NXT champion would mean that Indy would probably have to go back down to NXT at some point. So yeah, for me, it just makes the most sense that the newer person on the roster gets the win and then goes forward towards the world champion, well, the Knockouts Championship. So yeah, I'm going to go with Indy Hartwell to get the win, though I'd love to see Tessa also take the title from either JC or Masha. Following that, we have the title versus title winner-take-all match, where the NXT Women's Champion JC Jane will challenge the Knockouts Champion Masha Slamovich. And for me, this is very tough. I can see it going either way. On paper, I feel like Masha Slamovich is probably the favourite here, but as JC Jane has continued to prove, even though she's not the favourite, she can get the win when it means it the most. But my head in the minute is saying they gave the TNA World title to Trick Williams. In return, they will give the NXT Women's Championship to Masha Slamovich. And yeah, that kind of makes a lot of sense to me as far as like a business acumen goes. So yeah, my pick for this is Masha Slamovich to walk out as the NXT Women's and Knockouts Champion. And yeah, I feel like having her on NXT most weeks, I can't imagine it'll be every week, but having her on NXT most weeks will be very good. She's a fantastic professional wrestler, arguably one of the best women right now, just currently. And yeah, I think it'll be a great match. I feel like there's going to be a fair bit of shenanigans. We know what Fatal Influence are like as far as getting involved in matches, but then, you know, she has Lei Ying Lee and Zaya Brookside in her corner, does Masha Slamovich, to kind of even out the numbers. Maybe one of them turns and costs the match, but I can't imagine they've just done that with Blake Monroe over on NXT, so it makes a lot of sense that that wouldn't happen. But no, I can also see fully JC Jane stealing a win here and kind of surprising everybody and becoming the Knockouts champion as well. But as I said, right now my mind is saying, you scratch my back, we'll scratch yours. We give you the TNA World Championship, you give us the NXT Women's Championship. So yeah, I'm going to go with Masha Slamovich to become a double champion here. And finally, in the main event, we have Trick Williams defending the TNA World Championship against former champion Joe Hendry and Mike Santana. And for me, my mind has been set on Mike Santana being the one to take the title from Trick Williams here. And yeah, it makes the most sense that happens at Slammiversary. It's, I think, the second biggest TNA show of the year behind Bound for Glory. And yeah, I don't think Joe's quite got as much of a shot. I don't think he's as hot as he was at the start of the year as far as his popularity goes. It would make sense almost to keep the title on Trick, but I can't see him doing it. I can't imagine he'll have a massively long reign. So yeah, I'm going to go with Mike Santana to save TNA and become the new world champions. It has felt like for months and months, like I've been saying on this channel, that Mike Santana has been set up very well to become Mr. TNA and defend the championship honourably and just defend the company against all NXT guys going forward. So yeah, for me, as I said, he's bound to be my pick to win the title for ages now. I wasn't quite expecting it this early, to be fair. I thought they might go for a different build for Mike Santana and that he wins it at like Bound for Glory near the end of the year. But yeah, I feel like he's the best guy to put the title on right now. He's very over, not only in TNA but in NXT as well. So yeah, I look forward to this one. I think it'll be a decent match. I think it possibly could be a match of the night as well, probably behind Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander. But yeah, I've definitely got Mike Santana for this one. So those are my predictions for Slammiversary 2025. Do put down in the comments below your predictions for this show. Do you think any more other matches are going to get added? I can see maybe one or two, but I can't really think of what would be added. And do you think we're going to get a double champion in TNA or double champion in NXT for the women's division? If you're Masha or JC, do you think Trick Williams is going to lose the TNA World title finally? And who do you think is going to be the one to save that championship? But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, do leave it a like. I will be doing a review of Slammiversary afterwards as well, probably on Monday, sorry. And yeah, lots of other stuff coming up on the channel. I've just done reviews for All In, Great American Bash and Evolution, so go check those out, as well as other lists on the channel. I think the day after tomorrow, so on Saturday, I'm going to be posting a list of my favourite feuds in wrestling history, so do look out for that. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.